Hi, it's Rachel. What is the true baptism? We have this symbol of being immersed in water and coming out. And what the true baptism is when you start. Remember, I talked about in a couple of previous videos about how there are two realms, okay? Spiritually, there is the lower realm and there is a higher realm, and there's probably layers in between that. But what I mean by that is that the true heavenly Father beyond this creation, okay, that Christ reflected, if you are part of his wisdom and truth and understanding, you're part of that spirit mind, and it has nothing to do with fear and death and lies and images and judgments. Okay, it's condemning judgments and wrath. It's beautiful, it's perfect, it's pure power, it's beyond force, it is healing, it is amazing. Okay, and versus this lower realm and the God of this world that governs by fear, that feeds you death and lies, and in this dead flesh that keeps you bound in cruelty and death. There are so many ways that the God of this world keeps you bound into this pit. Okay, it is a place where your mind exists, which is everything, because where your mind is, it directs everything else. So you become a part of that realm. So the true baptism is leaving those lower waters of death and entering into the higher waters of pure light and pure love. Okay, and the thing is that we're mostly made up of water. And so it is a transition of where you were mostly bitter waters. You were waters of death. It was a corruption. Okay? You are leaving that and you are entering into waters, living waters, waters of life, so that within your vessel it is about kindness and goodness and righteousness and love and truths that come from the true Heavenly Father. Okay, not all the images and the false images and the lies and everything else that's here of this lower realm, but it is of the true Heavenly Father. So that's what that true baptism is. So it's not about any physical act. It is about now coming into a new creation. That's why you let that mind that has been sown in corruption, you let that go. And you desire to move out of it. And you can't just do that. I can talk about these things because I've been walking through this transition. But when I was there in death, I had no idea. I don't know that I would even understand this video. Okay, that's just the nature of blindness. That's the nature of darkness. And it's not. But here's the thing, is that no matter where you are, know that there is a higher place to exist in that starts with your mind, that affects everything in your life. It will totally transform your life. Okay, because your mind is completely different. You have different thoughts. God, the power of God, okay, the God of this lower realm and the Heavenly Father, one of the significant powers is that they can put thoughts into our mind. Okay, it's the creator. You create, everything starts with a thought, a belief, and then from that you act on it and you create it. But that's where it starts. That's the creative power, is thoughts and words. Okay, so if you are functioning by the God of this world and his thoughts and his ways and his words, and what you create is suffering and cruelty and death and harm, and you experience that same thing in your life. It's a total trap. You're creating it and you're receiving it. That's what all that is. So you want to come out of those waters, okay, out of that spiritual darkness, and come into new waters of light, of purity, that are clear, that are beautiful, that are of love. And so you start getting thoughts of a higher realm. And again, when that happens, it totally changes you. So if you've truly gone through that baptism in your own life, it means that now you are starting to increase and abound in loving kindness. That is the main qualifier, that you are starting to change in your mind and in your life. That you are starting to leave the things of this world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, all these things, and you're starting to ascend. Okay? That is evidence of a true transition, and that baptism is simply reflecting that. It's reflecting a transition. It's symbolizing a resurrection. It's symbolizing you're leaving death. You're becoming a living creature because you're attached to life. You're no longer of death. Life comes when you start receiving divine love. Okay? Because in divine love, there is harmony, there is peace, and you can go on for eternity in that. Death is separation, and it is lack, and it is destruction. So if you are in death here, you're going to be in death when you die. Death is death. But because it lacks love. That's what makes it death. That's what makes the God of this world who he is because he lacks love. So because people wonder about baptism, when you're down here and you're learning on that path, those are one of the questions that you ask, okay, in your journey. That is what it really means. So it's not about the act. It doesn't matter if you physically have that act or not, okay? It's a baptism of fire, meaning you are now saying, I'm going to walk, because the fire of God is love. Because when you start moving in divine love, it purifies you. It removes the corruption out of your life. It removes the lust out of your life. It removes the harm and the cruelty because you want to love instead. The fire is the love. So now you're covered in love. But it's not an instant thing. It's a process because you have to walk out and leave that realm. And that is a journey. But if you start on that journey and you seek after the truth and the Heavenly Father and let that Spirit of truth lead you and nothing else, then that's where you will go and you will find a completely new reality to abide in.